99.5 Global FM. This is 99.5 Global FM, your number one source for R&B in the Bahamas.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests and not necessarily the opinions of the owners of Global Communications Network and
Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm. And as always, it is a pleasure to be in your company today. Thank you so much for tuning in and making GPS a part of your afternoon. So you know the drill. Every Tuesday nowadays, we are doing what we're calling Hot Topic Tuesday. And today, the hot topic that we're going to be discussing is a tragic and unfortunate and sad and I could go on and on and on finding words to describe this case. But, you know, we're going to spend some time today talking about how we got to this place in society where an entire child could be dead for days and no one come forward to claim the child, to say my child has been missing until days later. What does that speak to our values in this society, our parental skills in this society? We've been hearing about the neglect and abuse of children in the Bahamas for quite some time, but I think that this is a possibly glaring example of exactly that, because I cannot imagine that your child would be missing for days, and I am anxious to hear the circumstances behind it, because as of now, we don't have a lot of information as to the backstory. But what we do know is that a boy was found, believe it to be drowned, because we, I guess, have to await an autopsy report. But it's suspected that this child drowned in the pond in Oaksfield near the Gulf Academy and the Gulf Training Ground. And for days, everybody was speculating as to, is this the child of an illegal immigrant who's afraid to come forward because if they do, they're going to be deported? You know, there was all this speculation out there as to who this child could possibly belong to. It reminds me of a song that used to be popular back in the day called Nobody's Child. The song went, Nobody's child, I'm nobody's child. Just like a flower, I'm growing wild. And you have to wonder how much of a problem this is in our society. So what this in essence did was shined a very bright spotlight on what is clearly a major problem in this country of child neglect, and to go further down the road, child abuse. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. How did we get here as a society, looking at this specific case, and what do we need to do to really find out how deep a problem this is? But it was a case that caught the attention of the nation, and for good reason, because everybody's questioning, why has nobody come forward to claim this child? So, Jason, I'm going to need your assistance until I can get on the stream. The news first broke that some boys swimming in that pond discovered the body, ran home and told their parents, and their parents called the police. So here now is how we first learned about the case.
Police tonight are searching for the parents and guardians of the young boy believed to be between the ages of 10 to 12 years old, whose body was found floating in a pond at the Gulf Academy yesterday evening. While the discovery came as a shock for police, what is more concerning, according to Chief Superintendent Chrislyn Skippings, is the fact that no child has been reported missing in the last 24 hours, and there is no clue of how the alleged incident took place or who the child belongs to.
Officers responded and discovered a male child between the ages of 10 to 12, partially submerged in waters. It is concerning to us as law enforcement officials that we did not receive a report of a missing child. And so we wish to advise parents who may not have seen their child within the past 24 hours to give our department a call so that we can bring some closure to this particular incident.
According to police, a group of young boys were swimming in waters at the Gulf Academy when they discovered the body wearing only underwear. They retrieved the body from the water, alerted their parents, who then called the police. Now, Press Liaison Officer Chief Superintendent Skippings stated that if any foul play is suspected, the culprits will be brought to justice.
I also hasten to say that our department has a zero-tolerance approach to our children. And so, if it is found at the end of our investigations that charges can be brought against parents, and I say parents meaning mother and father, we will definitely put those persons before the court.
Minister of Social Services and Urban Development Obi Wilchcombe also weighing in on this tragic incident. He admonishes parents that let their children run freely without the watchful eye of an adult.
We have to ensure that they're always protected. What we're seeing in some circumstances where young people are simply free to do whatever they wish to do, and sometimes that's being done without supervision. And so our deep concern today is the family. Our deep concern today is for all young people across the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the fact that due care and attention must be given to them at all times. But we are working with the Royal Bahamas Police Force to reach out to determine the child, his family, and to work with the family in getting over what certainly would be a very difficult situation.
Okay, so we would have heard the officer say in that report that if necessary, we're going to bring charges to the parents, meaning the mother and the father. But then only a mother came forward. And here's what's interesting. The reports are saying on the alleged mother. Now, normally you don't hear that word alleged. in a case like this. But it's being reported as the alleged mother of this child came forward to say their child was missing. This is days later now. We still have yet to hear of a father in this case. Now, the police obviously have whatever information they have, and they don't always necessarily make the public aware of what they know. But all we're hearing about now is an alleged mother. No word on an alleged father. Whether or not this father, because we know that it had to take sperm and egg to make the child. So there had to be a male involved at some point. Even if it was just at the point of conceiving that child. But we don't know anything about the alleged father. Whether this was a case of the father being dead or incarcerated or just a deadbeat dad, sperm donor. We don't know what the situation is. All we know is a mother allegedly came forward days later to say her child is missing. Now, I know that this is a different world than the one I grew up in. But in the Bahamas I grew up in, there is no way that your child could be missing for 24 hours. And number one, you not know. And number two, you not step forward to say my child is missing. In the Bahamas I grew up in, it wouldn't take days for you to step forward and say my 11-year-old child is missing. So what's going on here? This is a multifaceted conversation, and I would love to hear from you guys on this. Telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line to send a text message, if you so desire, is 8010271, 8010271. I want to hear from you guys on this because to me, there's so many red flags, there's so many problems, there's so many unanswered questions as it relates to this case. The mother has been charged before the courts. And I suppose that as time goes on, we're going to learn more about what police believe is the situation. She's been charged with, I believe, neglect. But prior to her coming forward, we learned from persons living in the neighborhood where the child's body was found that there is a problem of boys accessing that pond, obviously unaccompanied by an adult, just to, swim and have fun. And I get it, it's hot as Hades out there. So these kids are just looking for a way to cool off and, have fun. And I get it that, you got a group of boys, and especially if there's no, tight supervision, they're going to roam and have fun. But does it raise the question as to better securing the area so the children cannot access it that easily? So before the mother came forward, I believe it was our news that went and spoke to neighbors in the area to get their take on what they believe had happened. And here now is that clip.
Residents in the Yellow Elder area expressing concern over the haunting incident. One of the first people on the scene was Yellow Elder resident Joy Colmer, who says she assisted police in getting to the area. She says the boy's body was discovered not too far away from her home.
I feel very sad because it could have been one of my children. Just seeing that body there, oh my God. And we often tell the children not to swim inside that lake or that pond. And they always do. Condolences to the family because it could happen to anybody, child.
According to Police Press Liaison Officer Chief Superintendent Chrislyn Skippings, a group of children found the boy partially submerged in the pond on the grounds of the Oaksfield Sports Center Golf Academy. Skipping says the child, who they believe to be between the age of 10 and 12 years old, was found in boxer briefs and is believed to have been there for at least 24 hours. This is not the first time a child has drowned in the area. In October 2011, a 10-year-old boy drowned while swimming with a friend at the nearby Blue Hills playing field. Now area residents are left to wonder how it could happen again.
Many day and afternoon passing or even in the morning, you would see children gather right here, jumping right through this area. And sometimes I say, y'all stop going in that pond, stop jumping over the fence.
Okay. So clearly that is a problem, that children can so easily access that pond where there's no adult supervision, putting their lives at risk. So that needs to be looked into. So getting back to this whole situation now, days have passed. Police appealing, please, if this is your child, come forward. And what I don't get is this. And again, I don't know the particulars of the case, and I'm sure they will, be made known in due course. But if your child hasn't come home for days, and who knows, maybe the child was, accustomed to staying with relatives. I don't know the situation. But if a child is unaccounted for days, have you not heard all of the public uproar about a child being found drowned? And do you not then make the connection between, wow, I haven't seen or heard from my child in days, and I wonder if this child that they found, that everybody's talking about, could possibly be my child? I don't understand what's going on. I need y'all to help me out. Because all of this is not adding up. It's not, because it's not like this was a low profile case where, nobody knew about this child's body being found. Everybody has been talking about who this child could possibly belong to and whether or not this child is a child of an immigrant, and all kind of speculation we were hearing about who this child could belong to. So this was very well publicized, in other words. Not a low profile case at all. So how is it that no one in that child's family made the connection? Whether it was the alleged mother, whether it was, I don't know, aunt, uncle, cousin, father, if he's alive. How is it that nobody made the connection to say, we haven't seen or heard from this boy in days, and everybody talk about this child that died and nobody stepped forward? I wonder if. How does this go on for days and nobody stepped forward? What does that say to you about the level of caring that we have for our children? Some very serious things we need to consider in this case. Because if you ask me, this goes a lot deeper than just a little boy who drowned. But it really does cause one to wonder what is going on in our society that would allow for this to happen. Love to hear from you guys. The telephone number to call 3260271. 3260271. 3260271. 3260272. 3260272. 3260272. The WhatsApp line, if you want to send us a message via WhatsApp, 801-0271. 801-0271 is the WhatsApp number if you want to send us a message. I'm having some challenges getting on I just can't get the browser to open. I don't know if it's the internet connection. I don't know what's going on, but I'm having some real challenges getting on. So let me hear from you guys. Give us a call. I want to hear your opinion on this whole matter, because a lot of y'all had a lot to say on social media throughout the past several days as it relates to this case. And I just think this is a sad state of affairs, that in this Bahamas today, a child could be dead for days and nobody even declare the child missing. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
I'm okay. How you doing?
I'm good. Prayers go up to the young man for his soul. May he rest in peace.
Yes.
This is so, it's just, I was just telling my husband, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It started off when they found the body, and the police, people were saying, and the police came to, step forward to the public. People were assuming, because they said it, or they insinuated, I guess, that it was a Haitian, boy, right? And, people were up in arms and were saying what they had to say. Now it turns out that the child is a Bahamian. The mother, it's built on neglect. Now, and in reference, and now, see, this is, Michelle, this is what I think. The first point. Do we still have extended families in this country?
Clearly not.
Do you remember one time Grammy or a sister or the auntie or the cousins or someone?
Yeah.
You understand? Because, you can have, once upon a time or even now, the little boys, they would go, especially summertime, you go in a group.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole idea when we were young, when my mom and aunts and Grammy, we would go to the store, we would never go alone. It would be at least 2 or 3 or maybe 4 or 5 of us that would go. In the event that something would happen, we would all go off running home, or even the neighbor or someone to cry out for help.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if that's still going on today, because a lot of us, I put the point about the extended families. My next thing is our neighbors around us. We are living so separate and apart now.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how close our houses are, our homes are, we're all living our life, the privacy. And sometimes it's understandable to have your privacy, but you should still always be aware of around. Because I know Miss Smith and these other people, Miss Brown, they on the porch or someone under the tree, even the fellas on the blocks, they would notice these people, they might not mix up or have these bend conversations, but they observe things.
Mm-hmm.
And if this child left out, went with a group of boys, right, and didn't come back home, the mother, did she work double shifts or whatever? but she had to come home at some point. I think they a deeper investigation, not because she was brought to be went to the courts and was charged, that it should just be done. I think that an extensive investigation needs to be done with that child's death and his friends who were with him.
Where did you hear about her working double shifts?
I'm putting these things out there.
Oh, yeah, because I was just going to say I haven't heard that.
Right, but I'm just saying, was she working double shifts, or was she working, or was she at a boyfriend's house, pack up a little bag, and left the child with someone, a caregiver or whatever? You understand, a babysitter, and didn't think twice to even to say, but even if you're out, call, check up on your child.
Mm-hmm.
That's an 11-year-old child. It's not as if you're leaving a young adult or whatever at home. There has to be, like I said, and the thing is, I know it's with our, I guess that's the way it's done. Once it's before the court, you can't discuss the case. But the same way the police came and gave their presentation at the beginning of this case, they should do something, because right now you have families and mothers and parents are concerned about their little ones. School is about to reopen. Some are about to reopen, right? So when our children go out to school now, or whatever, walking home from school, we have to be aware. We have to really, really be aware, even with the police, walking about the communities. This is what they need to. They should be, on foot patrol, urban renewal, social services. They need to get in there and do, extend this. Look at this boy. Do not let his death be in vain. You understand? And like I said, I don't know. I just put those things out there. I don't know if any families or whatever can say or whatever. I've heard nothing about this mother, and a lot of people say, I heard a lot of, and I read a lot of comments, charge the father as well. But I think these should be case by case situations. We can't just put a blanket thing and blame the fathers. We don't know what the circumstances as to the reason why the father was in charge, or what was in what took or given any part in this issue with that child, because if that child was primarily the primary parent for that child lived, who was responsible for that child under her roof during the time that he spent with her, that probably is why she is getting the brunt of this. And if he were spending the weekends or whatever time with his father, who would have been solely responsible during the time the child was in his care. But I just wonder about extended families, because even my family, some families now are so separate and apart, and it's not the one, I forgot the word we used to use, like in the movie Soul Food, with all the family, everybody was connected. We are no longer that in this country, and it's really, really a sad thing. But anyway, Michelle, you take care and be safe.
Thank you so much for calling. I agree with everything that you said. We're not the society we used to be, where there was caring for the children and an extended family. Jason, I need another headphone because this one is just, it's not working. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be that extended family unit anymore. That's the first thing. Because again, when I was growing up, the neighborhood looked out for that child. There was a support system. So if something went wrong with that child, even if the mother had to work extended hours or whatever, somebody was looking out for the welfare of that child. I don't know how we get to where we are. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good day and God bless you today, Michelle. How you doing?
Hey, JT, I'm good. How are you?
I'm blessed. Thank God for life. I was barely able to hear you and Pat a while ago because I can only listen to you by way of the radio, and the signal is still low. So I just wanted to ask, out of curiosity, the fact that no parent has come forth to claim the child's body, is there any crime in that? I don't know. I'm only curious.
Well,
Is
I
that
mean, as of now, the alleged mother has stepped forward, and I think that the charge that is facing her, because she has been brought before the courts, is
Are you
neglect.
saying the mother or a parent mother did step forth?
Days later, yes,
Okay.
to report a missing child.
Okay.
Days
But I
after the
mean,
boy's body was discovered.
what if anything? And I'm not saying that the parent should be charged or not. I don't know. Of course, many of us don't know the circumstances behind her not coming forth any sooner. I'm only really truly looking for information. What could someone in that situation be charged with, if anything?
Well, she has been charged with neglect.
Child neglect.
Yes.
Now, is the neglect related to not coming forth, or was it related to conditions prior to the child being dying? Any idea?
I would think that the neglect relates to the fact that your child has been missing for days and you
Yeah.
just coming forward.
Right.
So clearly you weren't paying any attention to this child to know that the child had been missing for days.
So
you had to have been neglecting that
Yeah, I was
child.
going to say implications are there that, yes, like you just said, yes, there's been neglect prior to the child's death.
Right.
Boy, you know, Michelle, as you were saying, and truly the Bahamas is really no longer the family community and community of family that we once used to be. Because I remember, by the way, is it that very pond that's over there that you used to call Big Pond? Is it that same one where the child was?
This is near the Gulf Academy.
Okay, I think that's the same pond anyway, the big pond over
I'm
there
not
in
sure.
that area. We used to, I used to go to Big Pond Primary
Mhm.
for the first few months of my first grade, and I remember many times, you know, looking over that back wall into that pond, etc., etc. And it was back then a very ugly, dirty place.
Mm.
I don't understand how anybody could even go swimming in that. Now,
Well, I don't know if it's Big Pond per se, or if there
Or
is
some other-
another body of water nearer to the golf course.
yeah, which would be good for them. I mean, water's water, death is death. So I'm not making light of it, but I mean, I'm wondering too, thinking out loud, from what you would have seen on the news, might that area have been the area where they would have put up the boardwalks lately for persons to go out and enjoy?
I'm really not sure, JT.
Okay. I mean, because I'm not able to physically see, I just don't know.
Yeah.
But my point is, if the area has been developed and beautified for families to enjoy, for persons just to go out there and enjoy, I mean, how can one prevent children from going out there in the first place?
But I don't get the impression that this is a public area where you
I
right,
got
because these kids have to climb over a fence to get there.
Oh, I see.
So this is not a public
I got you now.
recreational site,
I got you.
from what I understand.
Wow. Well, I remember my grandmother saying to me years ago, son, if you don't listen, you're going to feel. And it's sad to see that so many young people today do not have the slightest clue what that moral lesson, the value of that is anymore. Because kids seem to do whatever they want to do and go about places. And
Yeah, but then that goes to a bigger question, because that's just a part of being a child. That's why
It
you
is.
have parental guidance.
that's right. But I suppose this is where the parents come in,
Exactly.
and they can be rightly charged by the law with child neglect. Michelle, this one is so deep and so dynamic. I hope we ever get to the bottom of it, but I pray God someday soon that the Bahamas realizes that as the old folks used to call it, those old landmarks where you have respect for one another and you always let your parents know where you're going and you listen to your adults around you. I hope we do get back, or can get back, to being a society like that. Because while there's no perfect society, and while tragedies sadly can always and tend always to happen, I think a lot of things like these could be either minimized or certainly happen few and far between if we were to be a more conscious society about those things called societal law and order. Because I mean, if you watching out for me and I watching out for you and you listen to Grammy when Grammy talk to you, more than likely kids won't get in trouble. But it is what it is. Sadly, the child's life has been lost. The parents are now in trouble with the law. And I don't know. I just hope something good can come out of this. I don't know what that might be, but I just pray that something good can come out of it.
All right.
So thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for calling, JT. So I have a comment on Facebook. Siobhan says, what we must be cognizant of is that this is an ongoing court matter, and we don't know the physiological mindset of this parent. It's more to it than we know. Well, here's the thing, Siobhan. If this parent is mentally challenged, that raises another question as to why a mentally challenged person is being allowed to raise children without some kind of external support system to ensure that those children are safe. And I see where you are making that point in one of your Facebook posts. Jason, what is on the screen as far as the posts are concerned? Because my thing is freezing. Saying what? Where Siobhan says, where's the support system? Where's the father? Was the child staying at someone's residence? All these questions are unanswered. But the bottom line is, this child fell through the cracks to the degree that whatever the home situation was, for days, no one stepped forward to say, we can't find an 11-year-old boy. And that is very, very concerning. Siobhan says, fathers need to play an active and consistent role in the lives of their children. We must not place the blame at the feet of the mother only. Again, we don't know the circumstances. We don't even know the father is alive or incarcerated, or if she know who the father is. We don't know. We got to wait for the case, I guess, to come for, proceed before we get more details. Somebody posted that they heard that this mother has 7 other children. I have not heard that anywhere else. So I don't know whether or not that is accurate. And even so, if that was the case, one of those children should have come forward and say, we can't find our brother. So what that tells me is that either this child often was unaccounted for, to the degree that you don't get alarmed if he's missing for days. It takes you days to report him missing. And again, that goes back to the question of neglect. And if the father is alive and is not incarcerated, where the hell was he in this boy's life? There's so many questions to be answered in this case. The telephone numbers to call, 3260271, 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, 3260272, or our WhatsApp line is 8010271, 8010271. Would love to hear from you guys on this. What are your thoughts as it relates to the overall question of child neglect and abuse in the Bahamas? Now, there has been nothing to suggest that this child was physically abused. And again, we have to await the results of an autopsy to find out if the cause of death was in fact drowning. Because prior to the mother stepping forward, there was speculation about, oh, somebody killed a child and put him there and all kind of, Bahamian school. We're very, very good at inventing stories and crafting narratives before we find out the full facts. So obviously, like I said, the police would have information that we don't. And I think for them to decide to bring charges, then clearly they believe that there is sufficient grounds to do so. And I'm waiting to hear, what the situation is. But no matter how you slice it, this child had been missing for days. Days, not hours. Days. And nobody stepped forward to say, my child is missing. For days. That speaks volumes as it relates to a problem in our society with the way we care for our children. Should never be. And I'm not saying that had somebody stepped forward sooner, the boy's life would have been saved, because obviously he drowned. So, but the whole, well, we believe that he drowned. We have to await an autopsy report. But the whole thing that this does is raises the question once again about how we care for the children in our nation. Are these kids just growing wild? Nobody checking for them to see how they coming along? When they go, they go. When they come at 11. Something wrong with this picture. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. On the other side, I want to hear from you guys. Now, this is supposed to be an interactive show today, so let's go to a break. I just see what time it is. We're way past our break time. Let's take this break, and then on the other side, let's talk about it. We'll be back after this.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Youngevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rims, paint, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Youngevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun. Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on 99.5 FM. The telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and our WhatsApp line is 8010271, 8010271. So I have a WhatsApp message. It says, no offense intended, speaking from a man's point of view, statements to the effect of a deadbeat dad is a harsh statement. Mind you, that could be a contributing factor, but should not be stated prematurely. Well, WhatsApp Messenger, I did not state it definitively. I was just asking questions as to if that could be the case. I also threw out some other scenarios that the father could be dead, the father could be incarcerated. So, I didn't say definitively that was the case, but it is a possibility. Let's not pretend that deadbeat dads don't exist. I mean, that's a major problem that we have in this country. Absent fathers who drop their sperm, I should say, and they ain't look back. So let's not pretend. I'm not saying that definitively that is the case in this situation. Right now, we don't know. But it is a possibility. So let's not pretend that that is not a possibility, especially in this town, where that could very well be a contributing factor. All we know as of now is that the alleged mother, I don't know why they're using the word alleged there, but anyhow, I would think that if there's one thing you know is who's the mother of a child, unless a child is adopted, everybody see the woman with the belly. Everybody. So I don't understand why the word alleged is being used in this case. So clearly, there's something going on here that we're not aware of. So anyway, it took days before someone stepped forward, and eventually someone did step forward to say that their child was missing, and this led to the identification of the child. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hello, Malcolm. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
Wonderful, man. Yeah, the little boy. It's just, I find it amazing that right here in the Bahamas, the news was saying someone come and identify the little boy. Come if you miss any little boy. Come on, man. You can't make this story a bit. What's wrong with these people? I find that so hard to believe that she could wait till 2 days or whatever, and her son have to come home inside her house.
You would think.
So come on, you cannot make these stories up. He have to come home. He have to come 3, 4, 5 o'clock or whatever. You ain't see your child come home, and you just going to sleep Don't worry about nothing. The next day get up. Come on, man. This would be a fast case. Run on her, man. I'm sorry to say that, but what it is, you got to come to some kind of point to deal with these people now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You got to come to a point and deal with these people, no matter who it is, what it is, deal with these people. Well, and I would like to see what is going to come the result of this, man. This is bad. Okay?
Agreed.
Okay. You hear about that the lady would get killed in Philly yesterday?
Yeah, I heard.
But these people look like that. I mean, I know the world's getting darker and darker, but when the police went there, they find the knife still stuck inside the woman's face, man.
Mm-hmm. That's some serious hatred.
Jesus, what is this? Malcolm, I don't know what is taking place, but we're living in some serious time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Okay, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much for calling.
All right, ma'am.
So Siobhan says fathers need to play an active and consistent role in the lives of the children. We must not place the blame at the feet of the mother only. Agreed. Robert says, does this young boy have any brothers or sisters? That we don't know for sure, Robert. That's the thing. Many of the facts revolving around this case are not yet known. So we're all waiting to find out more details. Lily says, Michelle, it seems as if the situation was ongoing. The child must have been used to staying away from home for more than a night, and the mother didn't think anything of it, so she didn't report him missing. So the parents should be held responsible. Well, that's the point I was trying to make. That you so used to this boy not coming home or not being around that you don't realize that something wrong for days? An 11-year-old child? Something ain't right there. So Leander says the story truly ain't adding up. Sounds like a sacrifice. Well, I ain't going that far. Terry Antonio says, Lily Mae, I was thinking the same thing, but a call to my child at least twice a day should have been made. Wolverine says, do we have any more details? Because there are scenarios where you feel your child is in a safe environment and was lax in security of the child. Safety was not a concern because nothing happened before. Well, listen, I hear you, right? You may think that the child is with other responsible adults, and then come to find out they may be thinking the child with you and all this kind of stuff. I heard of a case the other day of, I had seen an alert put out for a missing grandmother and 2 children. And they had sent out an alert, and come to find out the woman take a turn with her Bimini, and they ain't said to the parents. I don't understand how this happened. They find the grandmother and the children safe in Bimini. So how do you not tell the parents of the children, we go to Bimini, and you just pick up the children and go? I don't understand that. But anyhow, I digress. Let's stay focused on this particular case. But clearly, somewhere along the line, there has been some kind of breakdown for this to have happened. Eventually, the boy was identified, and I'll take it from here, Jason. Here is the report when the mother did eventually step forward and the child was identified.
The boy that drowned earlier this week in a pond at the Gulf Academy has been identified as 11-year-old Gerardo Atwell Taylor of Amos Ferguson Street. Police reported this morning that a woman believed to be the mother of the child came forward yesterday to report the child missing. Now, his body was discovered by a group of boys playing in the area back on Tuesday. And more than 72 hours later, according to police, it appeared that he had been in that location for some 24 hours. However, police had not received any report of a missing child at that time. Now, authorities were also concerned that no one immediately came forward to claim the body, suggesting that the boy or his parents may have been undocumented. Eyewitness News went to Amos Ferguson Street this afternoon, where residents claimed that the mother had been taken into custody for questioning by police. However, it's also not been revealed the nationality of the boy or his parents.
Okay, that has since been, well, we will learn more about the identity of the mother in a short while. But before we go to this next break, I want to read a comment from WhatsApp. It says, unfortunately, Ms. Malcolm, many of our kids are raising themselves. I think it's like you mentioned, the situation was probably where the child was used to coming home when he felt like it. I've seen it. I was by a friend of my mother's, and I asked where her second son was, and she said, oh, he comes home when he's tired or hungry. He's riding his bike. This was midnight. My God. A lot of this is going on in our society, sadly. My God. My God. Let me just say this. And again, we don't know all of the circumstances, so we have to wait and find out. But these children ain't asked to come here. You had to lay down and engage in an act to get pregnant or to impregnate someone. It is not the child's fault if you weren't prepared for the consequences of that act. Get your act together, because too many of our children in this country are neglected and suffering because you don't want to take responsibility for what you did to bring them here. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yes, good afternoon, Michelle.
Hi.
Yeah, my whole question about this matter is that where is the father of this child? Because even if the mother had told custody of the child, you're trying to tell me now in this age and time, a child is missing. Your child's gone missing and as a father, and you ain't know what happened? I mean, you might know what happened, what was the result, but you knew the result because it was a drowning, and you want to know where your 11-year-old child is.
But some fathers, there you go, concerned father, because some fathers are not in the lives of their children. They don't check. Some of them, not all. I know that there are a lot of single fathers out there who are desperate to try to be more involved in their children's lives. That's who I'm talking about. Okay?
I know. I understand that, but what I'm saying is that, you see, what I'm saying is that it is a two-way street. While she might be more culpable because she had custody of the child, the fact of the matter is the parenthood. Where's the father?
Mm-hmm.
She didn't get this child just by herself.
Nope.
And so we need to make people accountable on both sides. Because the innocent child lost his life. Heaven knows the real reason why. Because the reason children go and do things not only because they see other children do it, he might be based on what I've learned so far. It sounds like he might have been doing that out of a need. So where is the father? You understand?
Mm-hmm.
This is very critical, man. This is time for us to take a critical look as to how we're going to deal with this situation.
Agreed.
All right, thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for calling. Again, we don't know the circumstances, so we just have to wait and find out the specific circumstances of this specific case. But it does, in a general sense, raise some questions. And that is a good one. Where is this boy's father? Was he even a part of this boy's life? Because how a child could be missing for 72 whole hours without you realizing that this child missing, that just goes to the point of neglect and irresponsibility. I'm sorry. Again, I not to prejudge. I'm really interested to find out what the specifics are in this case. But for 72 hours, you ain't realize your child missing? Ain't no excuse for that. No excuse for that. Caller or no? We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hello, good afternoon, Michelle.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
First time caller. Listen, I don't want nobody to believe that we don't know about single parents in the Bahamas. We know about single parents. So you don't call and ask about the father if this is a single parent.
What you mean? What you mean by that? Hello?
Hello, hi.
What you mean by
Yes.
that?
What I'm saying is this: if this lady is a single parent, how you looking for a father if this lady is a single parent? If this lady is a single parent, and you can't tell me you to be out of your house for 24 hours, and you don't know if your kids them there.
But I don't. Before you go there, I don't understand what you mean. How we could be looking at father if this woman is a single parent? So just
No, what I'm saying is this: everybody's saying, "Oh, there's the father." If this is a single parent, you can't look for the father. If this is a single parent,
Why
Michelle,
not?
they ain't living together. They're
Why
not living together.
So what? Just because you ain't living together, don't mean you don't look after your child. You
Yeah,
don't
but
care for
Michelle,
your child.
What you do, you could pay. You could pay. You could send the monies. You could do whatever. They might have a court order whereby they just go to the court and pay these monies them.
And see, that within itself is also a problem. Because a child needs more than just you sending money when you're supposed to send money.
Well, Michelle, I agree with you. But what I'm saying is, if you only have just a single parent, then the child only with one parent, Michelle. That is with the male or the female. It's the child only with one parent. They're not married. The child with one parent. I agree with what you're saying, but the child with one parent, you don't have a father figure there. So what we know is that the child is with their mother. But you can't have a child or don't know your child missing for 24 hours. You understand? It could be off island. It could be working off island, whatever the case may be, just saying. But they don't have to be. That's my 5 cents. That's my 5 cents. They're not together. Apparently there's a single parent. And just who know everything, the neighbors. The neighbors know every single thing about what's going on with his family. Get with the neighbors, make an appeal for the neighbors to call, and I guarantee you'll get to the root of this problem. The neighbors know everything about who they live next to. The neighbors. Get the neighbors to call in. Appeal to the neighbors to call, and I guarantee you'll get to the bottom of the problem. Get to the neighbors. The neighbors know. The neighbors know.
All right.
And that's my 5 cents. Thank you.
Thank you for calling in. See, but that is a part of our problem in our society because children need more than just you sending money for their material needs. It reminds me of, I told you all about a situation where some time ago I was visiting a friend and a little boy came into his business place and he said, "Oh, I see your daddy the other day," and he asked me, "How you doing?" The daddy asked my friend how his own child doing. And the little boy face light right up. "My daddy asked about me?" So that tell you that father ain't checking for that child. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, yes, good afternoon. That caller, Michelle, you're doing a good job. I must commend you.
Thank you.
But that caller, he needs to get his act together. Like you say, and like everybody knows, that child has a father, whether he's in his life or not. The point is, there's a father. Where is the father?
I think it's a fair question.
That's right. No more than fair. That woman did not have that by herself.
No, she
whether
did not.
she's a single woman, single parent or not. There has to be a father. Now, either the father dead, he ain't come up and say nothing. Something has to be wrong. So that caller, he ain't know what he talking. He need to get his act together. Enjoy your day.
Thank you so much for calling.
Come here.
There was some sperm involved in the transaction. You know, we could make no baby by herself. There was some sperm involved. So where is that person whose sperm helped to create that child? And again, we don't know the circumstances. He may be dead and gone. He may be incarcerated. He may be in another country. There's so many things that could possibly be the case. But we're just asking the question, where is he? If he is available, was he not a part of his child's life? even if the mother and he were not living together. We're just asking questions. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon, Michelle.
Hi.
I guess you'd be disagreeing with me like that lady who called who just disagreed with the gentleman. Understand you're a female and the lady's a female. And this society has been designed from a long time ago, and I'm talking from experience, okay? Now, the father, where's the father? If the woman and the man have any issues with the child and they go before the court, the father don't count, okay? Children who are married, who are in these unwed situations, who are born, they literally, they ain't got no father.
Can I ask you a question, caller?
They're wards of the state.
Can I ask you a question?
They're wards of the state. And you know what? They get treated as such when men go before the court. They give the woman every opportunity to have that child. If the woman even abiding by a court order, she don't even have a chance that she wouldn't even go before the court to be punished for it. The child will never be seen by the father. Okay?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
With regard to what you're saying.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you are having a difficult time with the mother of your children, and the court decides to give the mother sole custody, and that mother decides that she can use the children as a pawn and try to keep them away from you.
That's what you, Michelle.
Well, let me finish my question. Let me
continue to happen.
I understand that, but let me
That's why we
finish
got
my
single
question.
parents.
Let me finish asking the question.
Yeah.
Because I know that that's happening. Would you not find some kind of way to make contact with your child?
Yes, definitely. And you know what? Do that over and over again to the extent of a woman to literally physically push and abuse you with the child in the hand to push you down. Okay? And the woman have all that right. You go before the court, and you know the judge wouldn't even hear what you have to say. Chances are it's a woman, a judge, okay? But I ain't knocking woman for woman, okay? But the bottom line is that what we're looking at today is what society creates. The church ain't no better than the absent father, because the church encourages the single parent foolishness. Then the women come to church, they want them in the church, so the preacher when he wants to be at least a pervert to the sons or the daughters or whatever, or even to have an affair with the baby mother. Okay, that's what society is about in this country. You know, the baby daddy ain't important, being nothing. You know, and for a long time, how could two have a baby and the woman just have it and everything all right? That's the problem. And you know what? A part of the problem too is that when these women got these man and baby inside their possession, and the big hate in their heart for the man, the boy child, that problem, and that's the woman love that child, okay? And the manifestation of that is in society today. When kids can pick up a gun, they have no regard for human life, don't have no regard for man, no respect, no nothing, because they were brought up under mostly women who teach these children that your pa ain't no body, you can be nothing just like him, huh? And that's what we got in society today. And you know what? The very ones who do it, right? They're looking for protection. We got to protect the woman and the children. No, what we need to do is come to terms of what happened in the past, resolve it, and let's make this thing humane and human. But things over in this world, one is above the other, okay? The one who did the wrong, looking for protection and looking for praise, oh, I did a good job, bring my child up myself, I had no daddy, I had mother and daddy. Huh? That's our problem in society today. And like I say, the preacher man ain't no better than the absent father, because they just encourage it. They want all the women in their church so they can pick who they want. Hello, Michelle, you ain't going.
No, I listening to what you're saying.
I'm telling you, man. And you know what? Any woman can call on and say anything contrary to it, but let the man call. And 90% of them would agree exactly with what I'm saying. And you know what? If we continue on this same road in society, when men go before the courts and they ain't got no rights, no matter if they can take care of the child better than the woman, and have better place to put that child in and everything. But the court say, you know what? You know, the mother, or even not even the mother. Let me show you how slap in the face is be. They'll give to the grandma face. Huh? That's how bad it is.
But here's what's missing from what you're saying. And I'm not denying that what you're saying is not the reality for many, but here's what's missing from what you're saying. Who's the priority in this whole?
The child.
Okay.
That's what I thought. Michelle, listen here. The child is the priority, right? And you know what? the system will incarcerate the father. Make the father, I'm talking about take that father and make sure he don't even be around a woman. Okay?
The system would incarcerate the father if he did or did not do what?
They won't go to the extent to do the same thing for the woman.
If what?
You know? They wouldn't do the same thing to the woman. It's more lenient to the woman. If a man go before the court, even with this rape thing and all of that too, right? It ain't no different. If a man go before even to the police station to report certain things, you can't even get your report in. You can't even get your report in. All right? Well, then you're looking at the next end of the spectrum. The person even ain't got no case, and they got the report in, and you get them locked up. And that's what the society runs. And these plagues, you don't know what's going on. Oh, where the daddy. Ask the courts where the daddy. Ask the church where the daddy. Ask them why they always been on the side of supporting, even the politicians to talk about the empowerment of women. While we see what's happening to our men. This life about balance, ain't none of us better than the other one. How you figure we give all the jobs to women? Oh, we got to make sure them on top. But I tell you, women have been on top a long time. I've one of the most powerful women in this country who've been on top of the echelon a long time with this feminism thing. And you know what? I said by it. I see, man, hold on, man. They're coming home. I say, hold on, this woman thing. And then I look at society, the same thing as society. And it's monster looking for, oh yeah, we got to try, look out for that. No. We got to try to bring balance to this whole equation of man and woman. Ain't none of better than the other.
I agree with you, but I also say that the priority in this conversation is neither the man nor the woman. The priority in this conversation is the child.
It's the child is always the priority.
So
Michelle, let me tell you something.
I don't want anybody to come to me saying, well, the system is stopping me from doing or caring for my child. I'm sorry, I'm not buying that.
The system happens to be the authorities, okay? The court, the police, and all arms of the law could be within that situation to say, well, they can make it a good situation or they'll make it bad for the man, okay? And that's why I say that. Until we change the direction we go in at, well, the list wards of the state, the children who ain't under unmarried parents, and men being forced to go pay these court money and things like that, when the law clearly states that these children are wards of the state unless they married, and then men are being incarcerated, being milked of their money, and some of these children even need their children. And it ain't right. And then man is mad, and then man got to be standing for him and this and that. They can't even see their one child. Why they can't see their child? Because this woman's spiteful. You know how poison it is? These women don't release some of these children until they destroy, they hold everything, and they can't control them no more.
Let me just say this, though, caller. And this is a true story. And I'm not going to call any names because I don't want to be disrespectful.
I ain't never called no name, Michelle.
I know. I'm just telling you. This goes two ways, okay? Let me just say what I want to say here. I know of a situation happened many years ago that a couple separated. The father decided to get at the mother by stop paying for the child's medical insurance. He took the child off of his medical insurance to spite the mother because he and the mother had some falling out. They broke up. So he figured, I can get back at you by taking this child off my medical insurance. Wasn't long after that, the child came down with a terminal illness. No insurance because he decided to be spiteful to take the child off of his insurance to get back at the mother.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, he all over the place trying to raise money now to help this child with her medical situation. The child eventually died.
Yeah. Hey, Michelle?
It goes two ways.
Yeah, it goes two ways, right? But understand.
But again, I say the priority is not you and your feelings. The priority ain't the woman and her feelings. The priority is not what the system says should or should not be done. The priority is the child.
And that's what the system says also, because I mean the priority is the child, right? But you know what? If the priority is the child, right? And you got this mother who is poisoning this child's mind, okay?
You're missing my point. You are missing my point. She could try to poison that child's mind as much as she want to. But if you are determined to be a part of that child's life, even if you got to go stand to the school fence to see your child and talk to your child, she won't be able to successfully poison that child's mind
Michelle,
if you are
Michelle.
part of your child's life.
Michelle, want me to tell you something? Men do it all the time. And you know what? You know what the woman will do? She'll make it harder, make it worse. Woman. And you know what? At the end of the day, you know, when you put up, I mean, not you, right? When you get all dolled up and everything and put that little piece that y'all can't kill a fly during they go before the magistrate, right? You know, you always get plenty of sympathy. I mean, I'm just saying, right? You know, because it ain't nothing but a game. It ain't nothing but a game being played live to be before the court and then, you know, could prevail and have a whole child life to destroy and then dump it onto a father when the child reaches certain age. Oh, well, he's just like you. Huh? And you can't do nothing but him.
But it doesn't change the fact. That doesn't change the fact that in this case, the child was missing for 72 hours.
Because the ma ain't checking.
So the pa was checking?
The pa could be checking, but the ma so venomous was I'm in this particular case, right? There are mothers out there, right? You know what? You think their child, they hate their children. Some of them love their children. And I'm telling you, Michelle, don't believe because a woman born a child, they love it. Okay? They hate the child because of the father. And that child grew up to be adult and all. They tell the child some negative things, tell the child to be right in their face and thing and tell them about themselves. And they tell you, I know. Okay? We got to keep it real in this country. You figure these children when they grow up, though they from being a child, you know they're still children. They're going to adults. And that's why I want to say to Michelle, from time all of my kids, you know what? I never put my hand to beat none of my children. Okay, you know why? Because as a child, I was beaten. I talking about, man, hold on, man, the kind of beating that's getting you deserve none of that. And I promised as a child at 10 years old, I'd never do such thing if I ever have any children. And I lived that. Okay? And you know what? When with children, it's very important. When you see these little youth things, even from when they're born, you look at these children, oh, well, that's only a baby. I could do anything I would do. You never. Those children are so intelligent. They don't forget nothing. You see a puppy, if you got a puppy when it's born, that dog don't forget nothing. And you look at animals and you think, oh, we better than them. We're better than nothing. We ain't smarter than them or nothing. You know what? Other creatures, they could remember from time when they born and they know how to live. Us humans, we ain't remember nothing. We always fall in a trap because we always drop our guard. Huh? But like I say, Michelle, this society got to change because guess what? All the police and whatever, they put them on the ground and say, well, we could fight crime, this and that. No. We got to start from the beginning. Change this foolishness where these women go before the court and think of their lies, deception, and to make sure these children can't see their father at any minute, and the marker, and they get a court on their hands saying they have these access to the child, and women them they even given no access. Let's talk about that. And society today is with the manifestation of all of that. It has to change this whole cycle which we're going through right now, Michelle. I tell you that.
All right. Thank you for
you have a nice day.
Yeah, because clearly, you know, based on what you're saying, you've experienced some trauma in your life. And I think that understandably so, that has helped to formulate your view on this whole matter based on your own personal experience. Okay, so I have a couple of messages here. This one is on WhatsApp. It says, it brings tears to my eyes how much over the past few months, the things that has been happening to children in our community, whether it is mental abuse, physical abuse, or neglect. It is sad. These things should not be happening at all. It just hurts my heart. These men need to stop talking things about the single mothers. I'm happy that last caller mentioned what happens to the kids of single mothers and how they go and pick up guns and become a menace to society. However, check the statistics the police just gave just a few months ago. The boys in these gangs committing all these crimes were not actually from single mother homes. They were actually from two-parent homes. The kids are the priority. If you are a good father, a real man, do what you have to do to be in that child's life, even if it's a call daily. Be determined and do what you need to do. I do agree that there are parents who use the children to spite the other parent, but at the end of the day, do what you need to do to be in that child's life, keep going to the court, exhaust the judicial system if you really want to be in that child's life. I could not have said it any better. And on that note, we're going to take a break. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Youngevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Youngevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z-Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z-Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z-Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z-Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Today is Tuesday. That means we're talking about a hot topic that is trending. And the topic that is being discussed today is this whole situation of the neglect of our children in the wake of a mother being charged for taking at least 72 hours to come and report that a child was missing. And come to find out that that child was the unfortunate soul who lost his life in a pond near the Golf Academy, near Big Pond. And everybody was asking for days, who did this child belong to? Why has nobody come forward? Eventually, 72 hours later, a mother comes forward saying her child is missing. And that mother has since been charged.
41-year-old Stephanie Hanna of Exuma Street pled not guilty to 2 counts of cruelty to children after her alleged son, 11-year-old Gerardo Taylor Jr., was found dead with his body partially submerged in a pond at the Oaksfield Sports Center last week Tuesday afternoon. According to Chief Magistrate Subasola Swain, Hanna neglected the victim while having him in her care and custody on August 1st. And she's also being accused of allowing him to be in a yard with a body of water without sufficient protection to guard against the risk of drowning. Police reported last week Tuesday that a group of young boys were swimming in waters at the Gulf Academy when they made the discovery. And according to authorities, the body appeared to be in waters for more than 24 hours. At the time, police pleaded with the family to come forward after no missing child report was filed. Meantime, Chief Superintendent of Police Chrislyn Skippings revealed that 2 days later, a woman who she later confirmed was Hanna presented herself to the Criminal Investigation Department and officially made a missing person report. Now, Hanna was granted bail in the amount of $7,000 and is expected to return to the magistrate's court for trial.
All right, so we are all waiting with bated breath to find out more information during that trial. In the meantime, let me go to a couple of your comments from Facebook. Boy, y'all blowing Facebook up. Got a lot of comments. Let me see where I can start. Wow. Okay, let me just find where we left off at on Facebook. So Libby says some of the fathers can't be in the child's life because they're married and they don't want their wives to know. Then they be the very ones they don't want to have a ready-made family. Wolverine says some parents are not friendly to each other. They don't mix and even can't have a civil conversation about the child, so there is no daily contact. Bertha says father there or ain't there shouldn't be an excuse for the child missing for days and the mother didn't come forward. Wolverine says sperm was the only transaction. Bertha says my mom had 13 of us, and when 6 p.m. came, she could give an account for all of us. Suck my teeth. Too much excuses, man. Wolverine says, I know many men in the Bahamas that are just sperm donors and not fathers. They're not in the child's life, and child support is practically non-existent. Wolverine goes on to say, my mom, aunts, and grandmother tried, and I tried my best to be out of reach of my parents. At least 75% of the time, they didn't know where I was or what I was doing. Blame is limited. What happened should be the starting point, how to eliminate these holes. Nikki says nothing can stop a man if he really wants to see his kids. Wolverine says the blame game between parents doesn't solve these problems. This is parents using children as pawns in their toxic relationship. Donnell says the caller is hell-bent on faulting this mother alone. All right. Again, we don't know the circumstances. But I maintain that no matter what is going on between you and the person you decided to have relations with, the child is innocent in this. It could be a situation where, and I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but because we don't know, but it could be a situation where the mother has been working several jobs. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just throwing out a scenario. A mother may have multiple children. Mother may be working several jobs. Mother may be relying on others to help watch over the children and they fall down. We don't know. Bottom line is, though, that the children are the priority. And, much as we like to think that we are advanced and evolved and woke and all them wonderful things we like to say, there's some ancient boundaries that should not be tampered with. There's a reason those ancient boundaries are there. There's a reason why those ancient pillars of support are there. And even though we may not understand the purpose of them and think they're not necessary and old school and old fashioned, there's a reason those pillars are there. And when you arbitrarily move them without any regard for the impact of that, the whole thing comes crashing down. And we have allowed in our society to come to the place where 71% of our homes are led by single women. That is a problem. That's a problem. I don't care how you slice it. I don't care how much you say, oh, these mothers doing the best they could and they raising these. That's a problem. We have removed an ancient boundary, an ancient pillar, not understanding the purpose of that pillar. We all stand by and watch it happen. And now when children falling through the cracks, missing for 72 hours and nobody noticed, all the social ills that we're having in our society, the lack of the father in his child's life has a very far-reaching impact. And I am not sitting here saying that some fathers aren't trying to be a part of their life. I'm not sitting here saying that all mothers love their children and are perfect. That's not the argument I'm making here today. What I am saying is that there's an ancient boundary. There's a reason why the family structure is supposed to be what it is. And when we tamper with that, when we say, oh, that ain't necessary no more in this modern age, we should not be surprised when there's fallout. It's just sad. And again, this may be happening a lot in our society where kids are just raising themselves. Because we don't see the need for both parents to be involved in their children's lives. And for many of the single parents who are trying their best, it's overwhelming to try to care for these children by themselves. And you notice I said single parents, not single mothers. So this is an opportunity, I believe, for us to take a sober look at the structure of our society, particularly as it relates to the care of our children, and determine where we want to go with this. Because what we have now ain't working. And again, this may be happening more frequently in our society than we realize. It's just that this particular case is shedding light on the problem. Because, I mean, you know, we were all thinking it's got to be a case where the parents scared to come forward because they're afraid of being deported. And even that, I was saying, man, you value being in a foreign country more than you value your child. You got to come forward. But my God, from all appearances, it's not even that situation. So how have we come to the place in the society where you so caught up in your own life, whether that mean working multiple jobs or whether that mean you just ain't checking for your children? Whatever the cause, you so caught up in your own life that this child is missing for 72 hours before you come forward, an 11-year-old child? What is that about? And I agree with many of the callers. It took two to make that boy. And I ain't trying to hear nothing about what the system doing and the system ain't doing. And if you won't be a part of your child's life, you can find a way. But there are far too many who are dropping these children and ain't looking back. I tell you the situation with my friend in his store, how when he said to that child, oh, I see your daddy the other day, and he asked me how you doing. and to see the look on that child's face. My daddy asked about me? So what I tell you? First and foremost, you got to be asking somebody else how your child doing. To the degree that your child is clearly shocked that you even asked about him. Shocked and happy at the same time that you gave him a thought. Listen, man. Some of y'all only into having fun. You ain't lay down thinking this person end up coming to you saying they're pregnant. You just was having some fun. I suggest if you only into having fun, you take some steps to make sure you don't produce any offspring in that activity of having fun. Far too many children in this country are suffering because you was only looking for a good time. And now the child here, and the child suffering because you ain't into that. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon, Ms. Malcolm.
Hi.
How's life?
Life is good.
Welcome.
How are things going with you?
Oh, lovely, lovely. One topic, the guy, the gentleman who was calling, you had him on. I agree on everything he said. So, Ms. Malcolm, they've been doing this for a couple of years now. Given, although they deserve it in your existence, they give women the equal rights as men, push equal rights to women. So the structure of the home can go. It's all been planned. It's nothing we did wrong. It's been structured like this. So we will have the broken home. I mean, they already know 95 cents of the woman own the children if the man is not there. They already know that. They do the ritual. So therefore, give woman the power just like man, and all the kids is by themselves. It's been designed like that. That's the next way to design to keep us the way we're going now. You have a blessed day, Ms. Malcolm.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. Bottom line is whether or not this is an agenda to destroy the family unit, the agenda can only work if you allow it to work. Somebody could push an agenda as much as they want to push it, but you still have the choice of being a part of your child's life. Even if the system makes it hard for you, you still have a choice that you will be more than a sperm donor. You will be more than a person who just sending money, but you can find a way to be a part of that child's life. The agenda only works if we allow it to. That's what I believe on that. Wolverine says the established order during the day, able bodies should be out laboring and children free to play, learn and grow. Now more grown-ups are idle and about in the space that should be occupied by children. There are no boundaries or regulation of communities for children or casual life. Our communities have become hostile environments. Hasheen says, greetings, Ms. Malcolm. Under normal conditions, this should be a matter of concern or disturbance. However, the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual state of our people and environment is so scientifically unbalanced that these unfortunate actions are systematically produced and will continue. But if we are going to take this case on, then we should carefully consider all the possible factors, such as parents' mental state, was she abused, and the type of eternal culture of life code. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Ms. Malcolm, some of these men, they run what they running on with. Some women that try to be responsible and choosing who they adopt their children with.
Yes.
And they trying to make it sound like these women, this lady just went out there and she did what she had to do. I have 2 children I brought up by myself. I was trying to be responsible in what I was doing for them at the time.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
The man, they decide not to be in the children's life. And for me personally, I never made the father out to be a bad person, but they just chose not to be in the children's life. Now that the children are grown, They want to be a part of the children's life because they figure the children can help them out.
Serious thing.
And we try to be responsible in choosing who we want our children's fathers to be, but sometimes the father either be married or you already have a sweetheart or a girlfriend, and they don't want them to be a part of the children's life.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for calling.
You're welcome.
All right. There are many, many factors, y'all. Many, 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 many factors that exist in our society today. But I maintain that the priority should not be all of those factors. The priority should be the welfare of that child. They ask to come here. So whatever your circumstances, whether you married and had this child out of wedlock, I don't care. That child ain't asked to come here. So whatever the circumstances, male or female, that you find yourself in that led to the creation of this child, really needs to be thrown out the window. The child is the priority and should always be the priority. We got too many children in this country raising themselves. Evidently. I can't imagine an 11-year-old, I have an older brother. And my older brother, he used to go do what he needed to do as a kid or whatever. But he knew that there was a rule that you had to be home before the sun go down. So, back in the day, that was a different time. So, many of the vices that these kids can get into today and the dangers facing, it didn't exist back then, at least not to this degree. So parents were a bit more relaxed back then. But he knew, but I was a girl, so I wasn't allowed to. I know one time we were hanging out at a park across the street from where we grew up. I was with my older brother, so I thinking I good. And we get home after the sun gone down. I thinking he can get in trouble, but I ain't getting no trouble because I was with him. I was the first one they deal with. They said, you are a girl. Why are you out until after the sun go down? But I was with him. No, we ain't talking about him. We talk about you. So I get it first. I say, well, blow me down. I think it I good because I with him. No, you should know better. And then they deal with him. But you see, that's old fashioned. That's old school. Oh, Michelle, we've evolved. Well, the evolution that we've evolved to clearly has taken us backward. Because this ain't working. What we have going on here. And maybe we need to revisit some of them old school ways to try to pull this thing back where it ought to be. Because this ain't working. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to wrap this up. Stay with us. This is GPS, and we'll be back after this.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun. Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here on this Hot Topic Tuesday, where we're looking at a trending topic, and the topic we're discussing today, specifically the situation where the 11-year-old boy apparently drowned, and it took 72 hours before an adult came to report a child missing. But that is shedding spotlight on what is more of a general thing that we're talking about today, which is the dynamic between parents and how it's impacting the children. The telephone number to call, 326-0271. 326-0271, 326-0271, or 326-0272, 326-0272, 326-0272. The WhatsApp number is 801-0271, 801-0271. If you want to send us a message, a text message, you can do so on WhatsApp, 801-0271. So I'd love to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts in the final 10 minutes of the show? I'd like to hear from some more of you. And I know we've been having some passionate callers, and I thank you for calling. And I want to hear from some others as well. What are your thoughts on this whole situation of how we have come to this place in society where allegedly, apparently, a Bahamian child is missing for 3 days and nobody knows, and nobody cares to to file a missing persons report for 3 whole days. That's not us, people. That ain't how we just act. That ain't how we just live in this country. Like how we come to this place. 3 days. A whole child missing. And nobody come forward to say, my 11-year-old has not come home in 3 days. Something is seriously wrong with that picture. Seriously wrong with that picture. Particularly, like I said earlier in the show, in a case where everybody talking about this child that was found drowned and nobody come forward. You ain't hear none of them discussions over them 3 days to put 2 and 2 together and figure out this might be my child who ain't been home in 3 days. Like, how do you not? Again, we got to wait to see, I guess, the circumstances. In this case, the mother has pled not guilty to the charges. So I guess we will know more once this case comes to be. But it just, rightfully so, caused a great deal of uproar in our society that a whole child could be dead for 72 hours and nobody declares that child is missing. Something is wrong. I don't care how you slice it. I don't care who you try to blame. We have to put this in the right perspective in terms of who is the priority, and the priority has to be the child. We have a message here from WhatsApp. It says, I agree with you totally, Miss Malcolm. We need to revisit some of the old school parenting. As strict as I thought my parents were back in the day, I appreciate them for it. 7 kids and not one of us ever incarcerated or in trouble. But guess what? I raised my son the very same way. And even though hold on, it just moved up in the middle of me. Okay, I raised my son in the very same way. And even though he acts annoyed at times, I can see he appreciates me and he comes to me for advice all the time. Like you said, we need to realize that children are our priorities and put aside differences. Do what's best for your child and give them a chance in this life. After all, this life ain't getting no easier. So give them a fighting chance. Work together to raise our darlings. I appreciate what you do. Keep up the awesome work. Thank you so much, Texter. So Terry says, I'm assuming the boys who retrieved the boy's body didn't recognize him as being from that area. We don't know for sure. Perhaps they did not. We don't know. Again, they haven't gotten into very many details about the case. So there are more unanswered questions for the general public than there are answered. We at this point don't know. We really don't know at this point, Terry. But you know, I really like what the last texter said. You know, there's a saying, it takes a village to raise a child. And that's the Bahamas. That's what the Bahamas used to be, where the entire village was invested in the welfare of that child. Now, not only is the village not a part of the process, but you don't even have an extended family that's a part of the process, it seems. So a lot of these single parents are overwhelmed, plain and simple, overwhelmed. Some of them trying hard to keep their head above water, but they're losing that battle. And unfortunately, it is the children who are suffering as a result. Nakia says, when a dog goes missing, the owner goes to every extent to make everyone aware, seeking help in locating their dog. A child goes missing and no one comes forward for days? Unbelievable and unacceptable. Something isn't right about this whole situation. Wolverine says, a corrupt system and incompetent authorities created a dysfunctional nation. The corruption has trickled down to the people. The old ways are debatable because some of the half-cocked ideas led to the dysfunction. We have to see the writing on the wall. Well, you know, I'm not saying that the old school way we were raised was perfect. I'm not saying that at all. But there were some values involved in that could do us good today. We threw the baby out with the bathwater, it seems, in our efforts to be modern and advanced and evolved and woke, because that's the sexy word nowadays. You got to be woke. We threw the baby out with the bathwater, as opposed to looking at what did work and incorporating that and bringing that into modern day. We just throw everything out. We threw the baby out with the bathwater, and now we standing here all looking at each other in dismay, saying, woe is me. And as Wolverine says in this post, we are here. How did we get here? Better question is, how do we get out of here? How do we solve this problem? That's the question we need to be asking, because this is unacceptable. I have a message coming in on WhatsApp. Let's see. This message says, hi, I'm listening to your radio show and I agree with you. One man calling, blaming the system, and it's not the system. If a man wants to be in his child's life, he would just, I'm not sure what you're trying to say here. He would just, when they want a woman, they will go all out to show this woman they want to be with her, and they won't stop until they get her. Do the same with your child. If the system gives them a hard time, then take a hard time and still try to be in your child's life. That's a very, very good point, because they pursued our woman in some cases. Now, in some cases, a woman threw herself out there. Let's be honest. But in many cases, they pursued her. So pursue your child the same way. Don't come with an excuse as to why you can't be a part of your child's life. It's a system, and that's your child. We got to do better, people. They sure ain't asked to come here. We got to do better as a society. It cannot be where a child is missing for 3 whole days and nobody come forward. That's not civilization. We must do better. And my challenge to you all is, let's figure out how we can work together to make this happen. Because what we have right now this ain't it. This ain't it. Now, we will all be waiting with bated breath to see and learn what the details are in this particular case. But know that we have too many children in this country who are being neglected, who are being abused, whether mentally or physically or sexually or all of the above. That trauma doesn't just disappear. They carry that trauma with them throughout their lives. And we are living in a society which is showing just what happens when you have that unresolved trauma. We got to get it together, y'all. Music is playing. My time is gone. I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thank you so much for joining me on the show today. Tomorrow is Wellness Wednesday, and we are going to be looking at an issue that is vital to your health. Do not miss it. Until then, have a good afternoon and take care.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the